Hey guys, I'm Sai and welcome to Ace Podcast Nation, the home of the revamped, new look Kevin McNaughton Show. It's no longer crazy football. This is Super Kev Unscripted and this is episode number 5, and it is the first episode of the year of the Super Kev Unscripted Show. The first of the year done is 20. The title of the episode is 2021 as bad as 2020? So fast. It is. But we are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, Ace Podcast Nation. Of course, home to many other great shows and series featuring top guests, expert analysts, and more. So please follow us social media, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and keep up to date on upcoming shows and guests. And of course, you can get the audio versions of this show and every other show we do at the usual radio and podcast platforms. This show is unique, different to all our other shows, as in this series, we don't focus on one particular subject or just the guest's career. All the questions and topics are generally set by you, the people, nothing off limits, no censors, no scripts. We go where we go, we talk about what we talk about, and we finish off with a top 10 list, because that's the way we roll. And joining me, as ever, is former Scotland international, ex-Aberdeen, Bolton, Cardiff City legend. It is Mr. Super Kevin McNaughton. Welcome back, buddy. Is the gin ready?
It is all topped up, ready to go. I've had a few, so that is usually a good sign for things to come towards the end of the programme.
That's the way it normally starts,
yeah,
and ends, as it were.
Yep. Just slowly come to a crescendo at the end where it gets a bit messy, but that's usually when Rob Boyle chips in, and then we just start taking bodies.
It's usually when Kevin Cowell comes out and starts giving some honest opinions. Yep. But we got some stuff to talk about. We'll have some would you rathers. We'll do another competition for Kev's doodlings, and a print of Kev's drawings as well. And we'll also have our first ever Dear Kev. If you're not aware, because you didn't watch the last episode, one of the features which me and Kev talked about when we were just talking about stuff to do on this show was like a Dear Deirdre type thing, where people would write in Dear Kev and they would give their real life problems, and the Super Kev would solve them. And we have the first one. So we'll do that a bit later on as well. And then, of course, we'll finish with our top 10 list. And for everyone who likes to play along, the top 10 for this week is top 10 British films of all time. What a cracker that is going to be. I can tell you now, Kev, Irish films as well, if you want to be pedantic, British and Irish.
Irish
Dead Man Walking, mate, or Dead Men Walking, I can forget what it's called.
I've got it down.
That wins.
Dead Man's Shoes.
Dead Man's Shoes, that's the one, yeah. And what else is there? You got so many classics, mate. Clockwork Orange, another one.
See, I
so
don't
many.
Like that. I don't like that film.
Love Actually. I'm sure Rob Boyle will have Love Actually on there.
He's looking for Moana. He's trying to see if that's...
Yeah, Moana. Was it filmed in the UK?
I don't think it was, mate.
So, yeah.
I was the first Charlie and Chocolate Factory. Is that British?
It's a classic, yeah. I think it might be, actually.
I don't know. I was looking for that because that was one of my favourites.
Yeah, there's some good ones. So people can send in their suggestions for that. Send in your questions. Of course, as ever, you can ask anything you like. And we'll discuss it. If you don't want to send a question, just send a subject and we'll have a chat about it. It can be as random as you like. We love a bit of reckless speculation as well, which is always 100%. Good. What I did want to start off, just before I go to the comments and everything, is shout out to Sol Bamber. We talked about it. The news broke just before we did the Andy Campbell show yesterday, which is live on Monday. If you want to watch the football shows, where Sol's battling non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Obviously, we wish him all the best. And on the Ace Podcast Nation Facebook page, I've pinned the post. There's a post on there where we're collecting people just write down comments and things of support for Sol, and I'm going to pass it on to the club next week then. So we want to try and get as many of them as possible. So for Sol and his family, obviously it's going to be a big battle for him, but I'm confident that he's going to win. It's not the best way to start the year, mate. 2021 being it.
Yeah, just hopefully, it's a tough one for him, but keep everything crossed and send our prayers and good wishes to him. Hopefully, back in the men soon.
Absolutely, mate. 100%. He's a warrior, and everyone's behind him. And the thing is, though, mate, as well, is what I say with all of the shows which I do, whether it's the Andy Campbell football show on a Monday, whether it's you, Super Kev, whether it's the MMA and boxing show on a Wednesday, or the championship show, or whatever it may be, all the billions of shows we do, is what we like to do is we like to take people's mind off the shit show that is the world at the moment, whether it's personally or just the world as a whole. We like to give an hour or an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half, where you can just chill out, have a drink, and forget about all the crap that's going on. And
just talk
goes for us, mate, as well, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Talk pish.
Yeah, random crap. So let's see who's in the house, as it were. Ian Curtis is in. Rob Boyle in.
Oh, we can't have a show about Robbie Boy.
Robbie Boyle. We should get him like a little box in the corner, shouldn't we?
Just get him away. He's gonna have to we're gonna need to call him one night or something. Just get him on.
Going live to Rob Boyle.
He's made the show at times, Rob has.
He has. It's been quality. Look, Kev's being nice to him, eh? He's get that gin.
I know. I was going to say I need a few more gins. So let's get to the end of the show before they destroy him.
Disappointing comment already. Gavin Randall says, Bluebird legend, Kev, but no drinking tonight. Leave me and him. He says, leave him and Rob alone. It's ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous.
It's not going to happen, guys. You've been watching the shows now. It's not going to happen.
Come on. You know the format.
It's getting destroyed. Any slip up from anybody is coming down with a ton of bricks.
They're having it.
It's getting hammered.
Absolutely. But it's all in fun and games. All in jest.
Yes, it's all in jest. But
Andy John says, size alive. Yeah, I am just about alive. Felt a bit better yesterday, and I felt feeling a lot better today. Feel almost back to my beautiful self, but not quite. I cut my own hair yesterday as well, which is remarkable. I got to say that I managed to do that because I'm not the most steady.
I was going to say, didn't want to say that.
Well, mate, the thing is, it don't look too bad from the front.
It's looking lovely. It's looking lovely, mate. It's lovely, mate.
Those zigzags are intentional.
I genuinely thought I was going to say it's better than your normal haircut. So whoever you're going to,
mate, I haven't had a haircut since I had my head shaved, do I? So it's just.
So you haven't that? All right. So I was wondering why it was a big fuzzball.
And next we've got some Ian Curtis singing a Kevin McNaughton song. Luke Dobson's in the house.
Oh, big Dobbo. Dobbo in tonight, is he?
Yeah, he's in
the
hizzy. Ian wants to know what you're drinking.
You know what? It's rum. It's a bit of rum.
Rum.
Got some rum for Christmas, and I thought, you know what? Gonna make myself a wee cocktail, and I've just called it a glass of death. That's what it's called. New cocktail I've just made. It's got rum in it. It's got a wee bit of liqueur in it.
If ever there was a drink to put in the goblet, mate.
I want pints tonight. Look, I couldn't find a tall glass, so I just thought, you know what? I'm pinting up tonight. Pints of cocktails.
What's the black thing? What's the black things floating in it?
Oh well, this is. I'm a wee bit fancy, you know. Sometimes I get a wee bit fancy when I'm making cocktails, so I just shoved some blackberries, mate.
Ah, right, I see. So rum and
high quality blackberries.
What a man! What a man!
I'm looking for a job.
Cocktail.
Yep.
Tom Cruise. Beautiful.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm actually looking for a job, so that's my job.
Jason David Jones wins straight away. He says for the film Twin Town, absolute classic, Welsh classic. That is
What?
British classic.
I forgot to put that in.
Twin Town, absolutely beautiful. Rhys David Evans said he still hasn't received the drawing from last time.
Yes, I know. We discussed that before the game. Just waiting on the prints coming, pal. So once the print comes, it will be out this week.
Going out this week. So what do they get? They get your doodlings from the show.
Yeah, you get a doodling. I'll get one of the Cardiff paintings I've done. I'll get a print here. That's what I'm waiting on at the moment. Just the shipment. I've got some prints coming. So when the prints come in the next couple of days, then I'll get them out.
What a guy. So what's the question tonight? Because we haven't discussed it, have we?
Oh no,
oof, because I was a bit late.
Boy, you know what? We'll just do. I'll do a random question at the end. See if we can get an answer.
First person to answer.
Quickest now. Fastest finger first.
That's it, mate. Twins. So we got Jason Jones said Twin Town. Luke Dobson said Rock and Roller. That's a good shout. Craig Sullivan, Train Spotting. And Snatch, Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels. Ian Curtis, Layer Cake, another classic.
Layer Cake. Is that British? Is that?
But yeah, there's got what's his face? James Bond there. What's his name? Blonde
James Bond.
I can't remember his name.
Thingy of Paul
Daniel Craig.
But it doesn't mean it's a British film, is it?
Oh, it is a British film, isn't it? They're all British, isn't it?
You sure?
Yeah. Layer Cake, 100%.
I'm not sure Layer Cake, I think.
I'd be amazed. I'd be amazed if Layer Cake's not a British film because it's predominantly British actors. But I'll have a check in a minute.
Well, we'll see.
Craig Sullivan going for Wallace and Gromit.
Okay. Craig, you're lucky it's early days, isn't it?
Like you've only just started the drinking.
Started the drinking era. We'll save that for later. We'll save that one for later.
We'll come back. We'll come back to Wallace and Gromit.
We'll keep that in the Canaan tank.
GD Parry says Shallow Grave.
Ooh,
and that's a good one, yeah. And then there's a few messages.
I'd call that a wild card. That's not like a...
Yeah, it is a bit, isn't it?
Yes. It's a bit of a wild card, that one. Oh, I've got a good wild card. 28 days later.
Yes, good.
See, that's
which one though? The first one and the second one?
Well, I couldn't watch the second one because it's 28 weeks later. I think that was waiting too long for that one. Couldn't hold off. 28 weeks later, the second one, isn't it? 28 days later. The first one, and then 28 weeks later. Yeah.
They're both alright. The first one was real good. First one was
still waiting on. 28 years later, it's coming out.
Yeah, they'll say
years.
That.
It's coming out quite like.
They got to do that. That would be quality if they did that.
28 years later.
Just literally waited 28 years.
Next one's 280 years later.
Yeah. Just keep doing them. Be the longest ever film franchise ever. Just keep going and going and going.
In case the zombies. Futuristic
zombies.
Look
at this. Reese taking the absolute pish. He says, any chance you could sign those prints for him as well?
Reese, what do you think this is, mate? Who do you think I am?
Okay.
Have you got an offer with me?
Can you do reverse charges by the mail?
You've got a free piece of paper that's got loads of drunken scribbles on it.
Scribbles.
And you want me to sign it? Just, please. You'll be lucky. You'll be lucky if this gets sent out this week. With that sort of attitude. Okay? Disgusting.
Can you do reverse charges via the mail?
I will. I'll do it this time. Race I will. 100%. I'm going to go in the post office and say, look, can you just
bill of like 50 quid?
Take this print and just charge them double, whatever it is. Say it's like super first class, where it's 50 quid. That's what we're doing.
Jenna?
I've actually drew a picture of Reese on the piece of paper.
Yeah, right, okay.
Just using my imagination, what I think Reese would look like. And I'm going to have to alter it now. Because he's going to have to look really, really irritated now. And he's going to be out the side of his mouth saying, "Can you sign this, please, Kevin? Can you please sign my paper?" So, Reese, you're the first person to get pelters tonight.
This is already going to be a good show. Jenna Mearns says, Kev, what about Sleepy Hollow?
Oh, it's a honker.
Is that
it's a honker. That's I went on a date with Jenna, and
Oh, yeah.
that was the first date we went on. I'm talking maybe about, I can't think how many years ago that came out, but it just came out. I was like, yeah, I'll go watch that if you want. Was her pick, and it was the worst film.
Was it
But you know, like it's first date, and you just don't really want to say anything about it, or you just kind of go, yeah, it was good, eh? Sort of come out and go, yeah,
Yeah, that was it.
that was good, eh? It's alright, yeah. Just think to yourself, oh my god, that was horrendous.
Dreadful.
Horrific.
I wonder if she liked it. That'd be interesting to know.
Well, I don't think she did.
If you were both pretending to like the film because it was
No, I think she came out and just sort of went, that wasn't that great, was it? It's like,
she, that was
I was just trying to be polite. I was like, yeah, it's lovely. It's done that. Real good choice.
What else we got then? Luke Dobson says Mr. Nice and Bronson, 2 quality choices. Reese David Evans says 4 Lions. Craig Sullivan says that was my suggestion for Rob to come up with, referring to Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, that old chestnut.
Trying to divert.
Blame it on Rob one, yeah?
That's what everyone does, isn't it? Blame it on Rob.
Blame it on Rob. When you make an ass of it. Rob told us to say that.
You've done a Rob there.
You've done a boiler there. Total boiler.
Rob there. Andy John, Notting Hill. I'm not having Notting Hill or Love Actually.
I quite like them.
That's just me, though. I understand.
I don't think it's top 10 material, but they're up there because they're a nice, feel-good film, mate.
Train spotting. GD Parry says 28 lockdowns later. and the rest. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest from Ian Curtis. That's a quality.
Is that British? Is that British?
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
I think people are just making this British nonsense up. They're just putting their favourite films in.
Kev's got his first compliment of the. Oh no! I thought you were getting a compliment, but it's actually Reese's mum, and she says he's a handsome boy and his beard is better than yours. Yes, I'm biased.
Wow!
Because I'm his mum.
Oof. Can't wait to just put a wee tasher on him. He's getting a wee tasher down him.
And she said, if you reverse the charges in the mail, she'll pay it for him.
Okay, well, just okay.
That's all I'm telling you.
I was jesting, but. It's okay. I was jesting, but now I'm going to do it. Now I will do it.
His beard is better than mine, so I'm going to.
Yeah, especially his beard must be magnificent. I think you should send a picture in.
Yeah. Right, last couple of films for now. Then, The Damned United from Craig, The Audacity of the Man from Rob Boyle. I don't know if that's a film or if he's just saying you, the audacity of. You.
I don't think that's a man. I don't think that's a film. Rob,
be clearer.
Come on, mate. That could be a film. That could be Rob's favourite film. Nobody ever heard of it.
How can he? Could have just created it because he didn't want to say the real one. Jason says Shaun of the Dead. Andy John says Edward Scissorhands for Cy because he cut his own hair. So it's very clever. It's not British though.
I know that's never been British. Come on.
Come on, up the game.
Play the game, guys. Play the game.
So yeah, you can send in some questions if you want, guys. Any questions, whether they're
come on, fire away
related or whatever, or subjects and that. We'll move on to the would you rather's in a minute. Anything caught your eye, mate, in the news or football or anything in the last couple of days?
Oh, the old Celtic fiasco.
Oh, mate, don't even get me started on these.
Who do you blame though? Who gets blamed?
The day. Like, to me, mate, there's no need to be going out to Dubai, because if Celtic weren't the only club who did it. But when you're in a pandemic and the way everything's locked down, and to get football played at the highest level, all these clubs, all these teams, they're in bubbles, like to avoid like cross contamination and stuff like that. So why do you need to go to Dubai to do training? I get like the hot weather and blah, blah, blah. But really, does that weather make any difference, or is it just an excuse to go?
I just think the bonding trips and the fact that you can't bond, for me, is just...
Makes it
you can bond, but then you'll be breaking the rules. So
yeah.
I don't get it. I don't really get why they've done it. But
And then one of them's come back with COVID, I think, or one of the staff, someone within the bubble.
Yeah, one of the players has, and he's came in contact with everybody, so everybody has to self-isolate. That's how they could barely field the team against Hibs the other day.
Which I'm sure the Scottish FA will not be happy with, because they've already had to call off some games early in the season because of it. And like, if it kind of, the worry whenever there's someone who gets it is that it spirals, and that one person gets it, and then you end up with 5, 6.
Well, this is the thing. They didn't test again, so Hibs players could have caught it, taken it home to their families, and then spread from there onwards, and then it just becomes the whole league. The ends in jeopardy after that, doesn't it? So it's just the fun. You can't go to your mate's house, but you can go to Dubai. It just doesn't. I get it. It comes from the top though, allowing people to do stuff like that, given special dispensation. It's just a lot of crap.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like with the UFC and that, and boxing, and like the only reason they're allowed on is because it's the same thing. They do bubbles, and they're so strict. Yeah. So I know.
So if you're abiding by the rules, I get it. At some point, you might come in contact with somebody outside that. That happens. It's not going to be 100% perfect, but at the same time, if you're keeping by the rules, and you've got a chance of keeping it going on.
Well, like what the UFC are doing, they're flying out to like Abu Dhabi, and then they're staying there for like 4 weeks. They go out two weeks before, and then they put on like a show or two each week. But all the fighters fly in for their show. They're not allowed out of their room for the first, I think it's 2 days, where they're all getting tested and isolating. Then they're allowed to go to the gym and stuff within the hotel, but they're only allowed to go in their kind of bubbles and teams of whatever. So you never come across other people and that.
No.
And as soon as they've done their fights, they fly them all out, and the next lot come in, and it's very, very monitored and strict. And there's people going around the hotels making sure that these guys are not breaking the rules. Whereas you've got footballers, whether it's Celtic flying out to Dubai, or you've got what's his face, Mendy from Man City, who broke the rules, I think, just before Christmas by having a party or a beef with some woman, and then like literally 2 weeks later, so he's probably, if he had to isolate after the first incident just to be on the safe side, he had like a party with some girls again, and it's like he doesn't give.
Who's that? Mendy?
Mendy of Man City. Like, if you're Pep, you've got to be raging, mate. You've got to be.
Just killing the game. You just try to keep football on, and it's people doing that. It's tough.
I see. So Rob Boyd has clarified his comment. So his comment was the audacity of the man, and that was referring to someone on Facebook. He's on YouTube, and someone on Facebook earlier on had suggested that Wallace and Gromit would be Rob's best film. It was a bit of a cross. How dare they, Rob? They were like arguing from YouTube to Facebook.
That's brilliant. Love that. Who's going to win?
Indeed. Luke Dobson says, Kev, can you draw me a new tattoo? Got bluebirds with a bird on the back of my head. Been stuck on what to have next.
No, I can't do that, mate. Sorry.
There you go. Jason Jones says, would you rather send Reese the drawings or me?
Who said that?
Jason.
He's
trying to.
Let's see how the night goes. Okay.
See how well
you're on. I'm going to be listening out for you, Jason. Any sort of harsh, unwanted comments will be penalised. And you, Reese. Anything untoward towards my beard, especially.
Yeah. And of course, we'll be doing that competition, mate, as well.
And I'm actually thinking of a quiz question.
As long as it's not by your package, mate. That's the main thing. Yeah. We already saw your ass tattoo on episode number 3.
Yeah, you've seen Mars.
Don't want to be getting the package out as well, do we? Andy John says, I hope they don't call off the Scotland games because we'll miss East Fife 4-4-5. I think he's insulting the standard of Scottish football.
Who was that? What's his name? I'm going to write his name down. Who's that? Andy John.
He's going in the book.
That's a yellow.
Reece there says players should face a huge fine and the proceeds should go to the NHS. because it's an absolute disgrace. And that is a proper disgrace, like the way they just don't care about the rules. Because I texted Andy earlier and said that one thing I'd like to talk about and debate on it on the championship show, maybe Fridays, like at some point, the fans, but more importantly, the government and the people who are making all the rules to allow football to continue, like they're going to get fed up with like Premier League players just not listening. And they'll say, right, if you're not going to adhere to the rules and stay in your bubbles and follow the lockdown rules, which are there for everyone, by the way, not just the general public, they'll just say, right, if you're not going to listen, then football's off until we can get hold of it, and we'll go back to having no football again, which is obviously problematic, mate, then, isn't it? Because then you go back to when there was no sport and no football and all that sort of stuff. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, that wasn't good. And then we started watching German football, and I was like, don't know about you. Did you like German football?
Yeah, what was your team you said the other day?
I can't remember. I wasn't really a big fan of it, but wee bit. I can't remember my team now. No. I just watched it because it gave me an excuse.
Yeah,
it was Hertha. It was Hertha Berlin.
That's Hertha Berlin.
Because I went to the stag do. That's the only reason why.
It's as good a reason as any, mate. Lorna says, Kev, how are you managing with homeschooling?
No. Did a wee bit yesterday. I was just doing quizzes. I find quizzes a lot easier, so I just did loads of quizzes. And my son didn't know what... I actually taught my son a couple of things yesterday. He didn't know what insulation was.
Okay.
So I'm teaching him. I'm going to actually teach him a trade, basically. Yeah. Because you don't really get that at his age. He's only 11, so he's going to be a builder by the time he's about 15.
Yeah, by the time
he's going to be qualified. Yeah, builder. You're going to have 3 trades by the time he gets back into school.
I had a similar conversation with my missus yesterday in that, like, they're going to, I think, like, if where parents are doing, like, proper homeschooling and that, like, I think in some ways kids are going to go back to school, they're going to have learned more than they would have in school, because in school they don't get one-on-one.
Teaching my son how to do my tax returns at the moment.
Yeah,
teaching him life skills, you know?
Yeah, I've been teaching my boys generally how to do the dishes, put the washing on, sweep the floors, feed the dog.
My son
stuff they need to learn.
I know. I got my son to pour us a drink the other day. It was a cracking cocktail he made. It was tremendous from him. So he is picking up life skills every day.
That bar is going to be Kevin McNaughton and Son. Cocktails. I like it. He's got the whole shooting match down to a T now. Tom Cruise, eat your heart out. Rob Boyle says repeat offenders should be punished and the club should be docked points. Yeah, I think it's got to happen. Like Gavin said,
that's harsh.
It's going to happen regardless.
I think docking teams' points is harsh. I think you get maybe a strike. I think you maybe get a yellow and then a red, and then you're getting points off.
But then I think he's saying about repeat offenders.
Oh, right, so okay, yeah, sorry.
Like with men, like, you know, he did it once, and it's like, right, come on, that's not okay. You can't do that.
Explain. Just rip out his contract. That's what it should be. It should be you get done once. The second time, you just get your contract ripped up. There you go,
mate.
Well, that's it. That's the only thing that will stop him, because money's no object. If you fine him, a quarter of his wage or something like that, you'll be like, oh well.
Even if you find him £1 million, mate, really, like they can pay.
That's what I mean. I know. So you just say, listen, your contract can get. That's what it is. You could say it. Big Boris Johnson just come out with the old, you're getting sacked.
Yeah,
you get sacked if you do it twice, basically. Once, we'll slap your wrist. Second time.
Do you watch now? Poor Pogba will be out breaking all the rules now to try and get his contract ripped up.
Yeah. No, to be fair, yeah, maybe. No, but he's not allowed to sign for enemy for 3 years. There you go. Yeah. He's got a 3-year contract.
Contract ripped up. You're not allowed to play until the following
You're not allowed to play ever again, mate. That's you. Banned from playing football ever again.
I can't wait for the first Dear Kev And if anyone has got a Dear Kev, which they want to put in the live chat, you are more than welcome. Just use a little hashtag Dear Kev. Kev McNaughton will advise you on your real life problems. But the one which got sent in is a bit of a cracker. Like I wasn't expecting one like that first go, but they've asked to remain anonymous, so we'll have to change the names. Which,
do I need to just make up my name then? Right, I'll need to make up my name.
Just need a female and a male name, mate. I'm
Okay.
sure you can. You can manage that one. There you go. Look, Jason straight away says, "I 100% agree with you, Kev. It's the only way they'd learn."
Yep.
Spot on. Sack them. Bin them all. Right.
Sack 'em.
First, would you rather? Nice and easy to start.
Would you rather?
Yeah. Why not? We're half hour in, mate.
Oh, let's go.
Would you rather be a panda or a puppy?
Oh, panda all day long. You seen them guys? They have the best time ever, honestly.
A panda. Don't they just like literally sit around sleeping?
Just eat the bamboo, chew on bamboo, roll a bit, and they just cause mayhem. Have you ever watched them on YouTube? Honestly, you get off of this. See if you're just feeling a wee bit low, just go and watch pandas causing mayhem. Right, just type it in YouTube.
Aren't pandas like aren't they like nearly extinct? And they're going.
Yeah, so you're you're kind of a big deal, mate. So you get treated like royalty, you know.
Because I read
they'd actually bring you women, mate, because you're extinct. It's like bring just like a conveyor belt of women, just like
just bring me my women.
She's not my type, you know. Bring somebody else. And then they do that because you're extinct and you can get away with it.
But like, yeah, you might die though. But then I suppose.
But you're the last, mate. You just
the last.
You go in a bang.
Bring women to is this lady up to standard? And that's the only way you can survive. Jason says good players like Kev are gonna go extinct. Oh well, man. Rob Boyle says, "Do you fancy does your boy fancy?"
I've lost volume here, so it's just gone a bit crackly.
Go out and in if you've lost it completely. Have you still got it? Go out and in. So, just, come on, Kev. Wakey. Kicked Kev from the studio. Welcome, people. Well, what else we got then, peeps? What questions can we ask Kev? Because it'd be good. GD Parry makes a good point there. He says any other job you would lose if you'd lose it if you messed up and broke the rules repeatedly. And fact is, like, I'd be interested to know if Mendy has had like a disciplinary from the football club, because if he worked for, I don't know, Inland Revenue, Giles Sports, whatever, JD Sports, the first time he might have got a bit of a ticking off. The second time he'd have had a proper telling off. Go on, Kev, what are you up to, mate? Can't have a conversation with myself. Send in some questions, boys and girls. Send in some would you rathers for Kev as well. Here he comes. Right, La.
I'm back. Sorry, guys.
Back.
Mate, the sound was just going. Brrr, it was weird.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what it is, mate. It's there's been some issues with the software with Facebook. Apparently it's Facebook's end, but I don't know. But so Rob Boyle said, "Does your boy fancy a career as a footballer?"
Does my son?
Yeah.
I've got two, and the youngest boy's into it a bit more, but I'm trying. I don't want to force him into it, but
yeah, it's difficult.
It's just see if I can get him off the computer long enough. Maybe get him to do something.
Yeah, it's.
I don't know. It's hard work.
I just said then. So who was it? It was GD Parry said in any other job you would lose it if you repeatedly broke the rules, basically. To paraphrase, and I said, if Mendy worked at Giles Sports, JD Sports, the post office, the council, whatever, and he broke the lockdown rules the first time, he'd have had a tick off, baby. But he broke it the second time intentionally as well. It's not by accident. It's on purpose to have a party and get a girl over or whatever. Be sacked, 100%. So why should they be any different when we're all being forced to, stay at home or whatever it may be? You go, I see my mum once in the last year, like if that's, why should they be any different? Rob Boyle said, sure, you'd think it'd be gross misconduct, wouldn't you, to break those rules twice intentionally as well.
Yes, 100%.
Reece said that he thinks Pep came out the other day to tell people not to blame footballers for messing up. It's a disgrace how he can defend them. And I think he's in a rock and a hard place, isn't he, really? Because, if he doesn't defend him, he's going to lose the player in terms of, football. But you can't defend him. What he's done is ridiculous.
Nah, he's a beast.
Causing a problem, isn't it, for the football club, for everyone?
You know what? I was trying to draw a panda there, and I've just forgot what pandas look like.
Just a white bear in there with black spots.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to think what their face looks like. This kind of.
Would you rather
really bad panda? Really bad panda.
Really bad panda. Sent in by Andy John. Would you rather Dundee United or Dundee?
Who said that?
Andy John.
Andy John. You never, ever, ever comment on this show ever again, okay? If you've been watching, which you clearly haven't been, I'm a Dundee fan. Never to be mistaken with a Dundee United fan, okay? It's just like you just basically just went, oh, who do you fancy? Cardiff or Swansea? Of course, I support Dundee. And that's it. Never want to hear you say another comment unless it's common sense, mate, because that was just ludicrous. That was horrendous from you.
Ludicrous. How?
First ever comment, and that's what you bring us.
How? I still think it's his first comment. How?
No,
not at all.
It'll be his last.
How close are Dundee's grounds to get? Are they close by?
You could spit on it from one pitch to the other, mate, using a very high velocity spit, but you would get there.
Is there a bit? Is it quite temperamental? The rivalry between the two, or are they quite unfriendly?
Oh yeah, I just want to punch them all, mate. See if there were anybody who speaks as what team do you support? United. On your way.
Does it kick off between the players? Is it feisty whenever they?
Yeah, it's like any other one. It's any other one. All my mates, I see all my friends have done United sports. Deep down, I hate them. I just pretend they're my friends because I've known them for so long now. You know, like when you've just known somebody for that long, you just kind of put up with them. That's like me. They're all.
Don't like it. Yeah. Don't like it at all.
We don't, but we just got to put up with them sometimes, you know.
Just got to do it. What league are they in? Like the two clubs?
Well, we don't need to speak about that. Let's just move on.
Take it, Dundee down the bottom.
No, we don't need to talk, mate. Let's go. What was the next question?
So Andy sent in another would you rather. He says, would you rather the Beano or the Dandy? Oh. I was always a Beano man, I was. But
what was the Bash Street Kids? What was Bash Street Kids?
Beano, that was.
Yeah, 100% Bash Street Kids.
But I did like Desperate Dan from the Dandy.
Yeah, to be fair, I like
I was a Beano man myself.
Yeah, I was Beano.
To see what the consensus is in the various chats, because you had to be one or the other, didn't you? You couldn't be both.
You could be both, mate, but you would just be sitting on the fence, really, wouldn't you? We'll not take that tonight.
I should say, just while I think of it, because Kev just reminded me as well, I had a message from StreamYard earlier saying that there was some problems with streaming live on Facebook. So if you are on Facebook and there's any issues, there's nothing which I can do. It's a problem with the Facebook live streaming, but you can watch on Twitter if you go to the Ace Podcast Nation page, or you can watch on Periscope, or you can watch on YouTube as well. But it's not a lot I can do if there's any issues with that, I'm afraid. I apologise, but
sort out, mate.
Facebook, mate. Facebook.
Sort out.
So what do people prefer, Beano or Dandy? Gaz says he prefers the Beano.
Good lad, Gaz. Good lad.
GD Parry says his gramps used to buy him the Dandy and the Beano for his sister, and then they'd switch when they were done. So he used to have...
Oh, that's a real heartwarming story, isn't it?
Good effort.
It's a real feel-good story, that one.
Yeah, indeed, mate. Indeed. Should we have another Would You Rather?
Oh, let's go for it. Why not?
Let's have a look. Would you rather Would you rather? Would you rather? Oh, my page has crashed, so we can't have another would you rather. Someone else send one quick.
Come on, get them in.
I had a really rude one sent to me, but it's a bit like too rude. So I'll have to
for
tell
this show.
Yeah, it's like it's a bit. It's just a little bit over the edge, I'm afraid.
Okay, well, save that one for maybe X-listed show.
We'll put that on the we'll post it on the members
director's cut
later in the year. GD Parry said, wasn't the Dandy and the Beano published in Dundee?
It was. Yes, we pretty much own everything. Mate. We invented everything: the wheel, the light bulb, everything. Everything in Dundee was invented by us.
Just Dundee rules the world,
just
mate.
Basically, we invented the telephone. I think. Pretty sure we did that, mate.
Anything which is good.
Oh, DC Thompson's is the place that produced the thought. I don't know. I just know there's a statue of that Despot Dan walking through Dundee in the centre of the town. So I'm guessing that's where he's from because I've seen him on the street.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, I'm glad somebody brought that up because I forgot about that.
Like
basically, it was invented down the road.
Well, Dundee is ruling the world, mate. It's where the New World Order is based. Gavin says really over 18s this show, isn't it? And I said it is kind of geared more towards like adults and stuff.
Yes, it is a lot.
There's like still certain stuff which I wouldn't say and stuff like that. And this is on the brink. This one that I got sent in, but we'll save it. Craig Sullivan says, would you rather watch cricket or rugby?
Oof.
That's easy for me because
it depends who's playing. See, if it was England, Australia, I'd probably cricket. I think I'd watch a cricket because I want to see England get beat at cricket because I enjoy it because I think they're good at it and they're crap. And rugby, because Scotland are
horrific.
No, not that word. That's not the word we're looking for. We're looking for not bad. We're just
unpredictable.
Listen, did we not beat you the last time? Did we not beat you the last time we played?
I don't know, mate.
I'm pretty sure we did. Somebody Google that. And I know you're all.
Rugby.
I'm surrounded by Welsh people sending in things here, and I know you'll make up a score that you beat Scotland, but
I think Wales probably won. They normally.
I bet he's never. Honestly, we hang out the back of Wales. Scotland hang out the back of Wales.
I don't care about rugby one little bit. I would rather watch cricket generally. I do enjoy like some of the bigger Six Nation games when we play the big nations like England versus Wales or.
You've not played Scotland, have you?
England versus Ireland, but like when you're playing the minnows like Scotland and Italy and that, I just nothing games, isn't it?
Disgusting.
Rob Boyle says,
yes, Rob.
Scots are better than Wales at the moment in the rugby, in the egg chase.
Well, tell me something I don't know, Rob. Come on.
And John says, your knowledge is the bomb.
What have I done?
He's impressed with your general knowledge, your trivia facts.
What, the DC Thompsons or the whole...
But it was only produced the statue, basically, wasn't it?
The statues in Dundee. Guys.
Right. Let's have another would you rather then. This one was sent in by JD, so it could be dark. However,
it's not this guy.
I've read it before I've thing, and it's actually really funny because all he put was it's not what you think. So you got to listen carefully.
Okay.
Would you rather live in Wank or live in Spunky?
What?
So would you rather live in Wank, a German ski resort, or would you rather live in Spunky, a small village near Glasgow?
I think I'm going to Germany. You're going to Germany, mate. Going straight for a wank.
Absolutely. Every time. Every single time.
You don't want to be in Spunk, mate. You'd rather That'd be in wank.
Absolutely, mate.
That's not bad from him. That's good.
That was a good one. I thought
That's
it
what I
was
say. I
good.
was fully expecting machete or something like that. But I'd
Yeah.
rather chop somebody's head off or carve somebody up in the garden and feed them to your pigs.
Yeah, it's a bad one, mate. Would you rather have continuous hiccups for the rest of your life, or have continuous sneezes for the rest of your life?
I quite enjoy sneezing. I don't know about you. I quite enjoy sneezing.
Isn't there like a really obscure fact about sneezing? Like it's like a portion of an orgasm or something.
I think it is.
Sneezing.
I thoroughly enjoy a sneeze. I love a good sneeze. You know, just like, oh, here it comes.
It's continuous, though, mate, isn't it? Like,
what do you mean? No, just like that. No.
There, would you?
Well, hiccups. You know what hiccups are like? Hiccups don't go. Hiccup. It's hiccup. Then it's.
Yeah, you got to pick one. So it's got to be.
But the sneezing. How many seconds between the sneeze?
Forever.
It can't just be go that sneeze. Or is it sneeze?
I know, like sneeze. every minute or so.
If it's a minute, then I'll go sneeze.
You take
if
the
it was
sneeze
every 5
minute.
seconds, then I would probably not take it because it's, you know, you can sometimes be driving and sneeze, and you're like, you go from one lane to the next between a sneeze. It's quite dangerous. Whereas hiccups, it's not going to happen, is it?
Hiccups are less of an inconvenience, aren't they? Like they're annoying. Like bear in mind you've got it.
Like, I know. I suppose
continuously forever. Like, but sneezing, the novelty would wear off, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
like,
probably would. Must admit, yeah.
I'm just trying to see. So apparently, is the what's it called? The urban myth, I suppose, is that every time you sneeze is 1/8 of an orgasm. I'm just trying to clarify through Google if that is actually the, if it's true. I
think that's just lies, mate.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be factual. But people make up some. One episode, mate. We should do like a section on like urban myths and stuff.
Oh yeah, what's the program? What's the thing on the Discovery Channel?
And you could have got to tell me if they're
Mythbusters,
like real or true.
No, what were we called? Pish busters. People talking pish. We will be the pish busters. So if we hear anybody talking pish, we will either say it's pish or it's not pish. Instead of mythbusters, pish busters.
Okay, yeah, I like it.
I think that's catchy. I think that might take off.
Yeah.
It's on Discovery. Imagine us two on Discovery.
Yeah.
Today we're going to a guy in Glasgow who said he can hiccup 500 times in a minute. And then we pish bust him. We just know he's talking pish.
We feed him like ice cold water to give him the hiccups, and then away we go. See if
there's the sort of experiments we could do. Pish busting.
No one could do it like us, Brent. Would you like one more? Would you rather, or would you like to move on?
Listen, hit me. Just quick fire one, and I'll just say it straight away.
Would you rather would you rather have every Xbox product, and an Xbox, but you're never allowed to play any other console device, anything which comes out? You've only got to stick to the Xbox you've got and all the products with it, and you can have like new games for that. Or would you rather have the PlayStation, all the PlayStation products?
You kind of so either PlayStation, never go to Xbox. Oh yeah. Oof. I used to be Xbox all the way, but I kind of turned to PlayStation for a bit. I'm going to go Xbox. I'm going back to Xbox. I'm going to Xbox.
Yeah. See, when I was first a kid and I into gaming, and I was all PlayStation.
I was PlayStation all the way, and then I went to Xbox as well.
My missus bought me an Xbox 360 then, like probably about 14 years ago.
Yeah.
And
I liked the chat.
Never
the chat was easier. Chat was easier.
Yeah.
Wasn't as glitchy.
On like a headset and talk to your mates and abuse them as you beat them.
Yeah. We used to have this. We used to play Call of Duty, right? And there was 5 or 6 of us in the chat, and whoever lost the last game was not allowed to speak at all through the next game. So they just got destroyed for like 5 minutes.
Amazing.
And then all of a sudden, whoever was last on the bottom, like 3 for all, just got destroyed. Just got absolutely caned. It was good fun. But I've never bottomed, so you always held me.
Couple of questions in the old chat. Rob Boyle says, Kev, do you play FIFA?
Nah, not really. I used to be Pro Evo, and then I'd never ever played football games after that. I was obsessed with Call of Duty. Honestly, I've weaned myself off it now. I don't play the computer much anymore. But my word, you ask boys at the football club, I was like Call of Duty daft.
Just all the time, like.
Oh, just got home, put it on, prestiged about 900 times.
You used to play for hours at a time, yeah.
Oh yeah, I was mad for it. I was the top man at it as well. And if anybody challenges that fact, I will go and train, and I'll take them 1-on-1.
Destroy them in a
I will
duel.
train. I will actually go and train. I'll go and do 5-6 hours a day.
Here's a question for you, and this kind of fits in for me. So I got 3 boys, 16, 13, 14, and an 11-year-old. The 11-year-old wants to be able to play Call of Duty because his friends have all got Call of Duty and they've got Grand Theft Auto, and his friends have got them all and they're allowed to play them all. However, me and my missus, and me specifically, I don't want him playing that yet. So I've said no, but I feel bad for him because he's in the first year of high school and all his mates play it. And I say, no, you're not playing Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty and all that stuff.
Yeah.
How old are your kids, and would you let them play those games?
My kid's oldest. My oldest is 11.
Dear Kev, when is the right age to allow my children to play these obscene games?
It's just your personal judgment, isn't it? What worries me is the party chats and who they're speaking to more than anything else. If they're speaking to adults and stuff, then
it's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't be wanting them to. I'd just say supervise them if you can.
So my
kids. The good thing about where my kids play, my kid plays on the landing, so I could hear everything he says. Yeah,
wherever you are, like.
I'm sat in the house, I can still hear him speaking to whoever he's speaking to, so I can hear exactly what he's saying. Hear him. It's quite annoying actually because you're watching TV. You can still hear him screaming away, but at the same time, when he steps out of line, I could hear him either swearing or I could hear him saying something, and he gets whipped off it straight away.
Yeah. I had that conversation earlier today. In fact, it's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult to know, like I think if I was just being honest, like I wouldn't really mind him playing those games.
No, I'm the same.
I don't think I mind really, but my kind of father head comes in, and I just go, "Oh, look, no, you're not quite old enough yet." But I'm the same as you. I worry about who they're speaking to.
Yeah, that's the thing that worries me. Yeah.
And he did get contacted by like this weird bloke before, about a year or two ago. But I've got, on your phone, if you've got like Facebook Messenger, I know you're not on Facebook, but when you've got Facebook Messenger on my phone, the message comes up in like a floating thing on your phone. So whatever you're doing, the Facebook message floats up above it all the time. And I've got their Xbox accounts set up like that. So if someone messages them, it comes up on my phone straight away. It's all linked to my phone, so I can see. And if it's if it's their mates, I just close it and leave it. If it's someone I don't recognize, I'll kind of have a look who it is and stuff like that. Because mate, this day and age, it's dodgy, mate.
It's hard work, isn't it?
Yeah,
you have to do that, isn't it?
God, yeah. Like I think, like back in the day, mate, when we were kids, like I used to go out, like in the summer holidays or on the weekend, I'd go out after breakfast and come back at tea time.
Yeah,
play football all day, and like my mum and my dad wouldn't think anything of it. My mum would come and get me like when it got dark to say, "Come on, it's tea time. You've been out all day." Blah blah blah. Like
my mum used to shout out the window.
Do you know what I mean?
My mum used to scream out the window. I used to shout at Kevin, just full belt on my brothers and them.
Super Kev.
Just to go, oi, grey-headed. Because it was grey-headed when I was 5. So, oi, Silver. Silver Fox, get your ass in here.
Get your backside in here, boy. And but I think that's sometimes what, like my older kids, they understand it now, but like a couple of years ago, like they didn't quite get why we were so thing about like social media or about all these different things which you've got to worry about as a parent, like. And it's difficult, isn't it? Because there's so many dirty rats, and then there's so much.
It's just things you didn't think, things you would never worry about.
Easy to contact strangers, mate, isn't it? And you can do it anonymously and this, that, and the other. It's
we shouldn't have to worry about things like that. It's quite sad.
It is. It's very sad. Listen to us, responsible and.
I know, yeah. What's happened here? We've just suddenly gone a wee bit. Whoa. Let's get back to Joe. Rob, come on, message something so we can just go and start blasting you. Would you rather be rich but have no social life, or be poor but have a good social life? I've got no social life anyway, so I've not got one anyway. So just give me some money, eh? Yeah, just pay me to be an ass and just sit in the cell. You know, sit here just watching box sets all day. Give me loads of money for that. Absolutely. Okay, one more then. One more. Would you rather walk barefoot on hot coals or barefoot in a Lego factory? And I'd imagine they don't just scatter things around in a Lego factory. I'd imagine just for health and safety reasons. The Lego factory is just not a big, massive room just full of Lego just scattered all over the floor. I'm going to say it's in conveyor belts being shipped in boxes. So I'd rather walk through there, to be honest with you. Yeah, just casually looking at the Lego being made with actually not even wearing any shoes, just wandering about. So you've not been specific enough. That's why I'm picking that. Indeed. If you'd have said a room full of Lego, it might have been a close. Or like the length of a football pitch. See, he's not being clear enough here. Come on. Yes, it's not a good one. I'm getting to this. You're turning me into the old Simon Cowell again here with these sort of. I'm just having a quick look. We're in the half hour yet. The last half hour I've just destroyed. Into the final half hour, so we're going to have to go to the top 10 in a minute. But we have got one more thing to do. Right. I was just having a quick flick through to see if there was any good would you rather sent in, but there was none. There was all rubbish. They're all a bit not very good. Up your game. Come on, man. Send in some good. So if no one sends any in the comments in the next 3 seconds, come on. The next 10 seconds or so, we'll move on from the would you rather's this week. But JD didn't send us like a dark one this week, which I was a little bit disappointed. I am disappointed. I don't know you. Oh, here we go. I didn't see that one at the bottom. Ready? Yeah, I'm ready. Maybe for the over 18s, I suppose. I don't know. Would you rather have a permanent smile at every funeral you attend for the rest of your life, or a permanent erection? It's pretty easy, isn't it, really? Let's be honest. You just want a perma rod, wouldn't you? Yeah. Just walking about with a tent pole. Constantly. Just get a baggy jumper. Because you could still smile at a funeral and have a tent pole. That's it. Just looking creepier. just sat and seeing the tent pole and the big. You'd be happy anyway. You've got a tent pole. You'd be like, oh, such a nice guy. Probably get dizzy after a while, wouldn't you? You would, the blood flow and the simple biology of it all. But yeah, we'll go back to the Would You Rathers on the next episode, because we've got our first Dear Kev to get into before we go and do our the top 10 British films of all time. So you can start sending in the top 10 British films of all time. We'd like your suggestions for them, but also if you'd like to send in your top 10, you are more than welcome. As me and Kev will then discuss and put our top 10 into action. So last episode we said we were starting the Dear Kev feature, where people can send in their real life problems, and then Kev will give advice. I'll just solve the problems of the world. So I got to be honest, I didn't expect any this time round. I thought it might take a couple of episodes to get people to send them in. And I was pleasantly surprised this morning when I had an email from what we calling her? Betty. From Betty. And what's Betty's partner going to be called? Frank and Betty. Okay. So Frank and Betty. So Betty sent me an email and she said, so I'm going to read it out. And I did show this to Kev about 5 minutes before the show, just to give him a little bit of a heads up. Because I thought it would be a bit mean to just throw him on the fire. I got a good 5 minutes preparation. Yeah. So it goes like this.
Dear Kev and Si, love your new show. It's quality stuff. Best new podcast I've seen on any subject. It's fresh and original, which is not easy, but most importantly, is it entertaining as make it weekly, your wee dancers. Well, that's up to Kev, not me. Come on now, Kev. I know.
Try, guys. Try.
You're under pressure. She says, anyway, on to my problem. Back in March 2020, I got together with a wee lad I met over the Christmas period.
Frank.
We went on our first date in March, and we got on like a house on fire. I apologise because I'm reading off my phone. Then when Corona came along and the rumours of lockdown swirled, we didn't want to be in separate places, as he lives in Manchester and I live in Bristol. So he moved into my flat. It's not massive, but it's not a bedsit either. Things went well for the first lockdown, as let's say we were still in the honeymoon period, and all we had to do all day was be together. Okay.
Having lots of sex.
Yeah, well, that's what else you could do. Lockdown.
Okay.
When lockdown ended, he moved in permanently, even though it was only 7 months or less from our first date. By the second lockdown, all his stuff was in, and he immediately was getting on my tits. Third lockdown, and all his tier 4 stuff, plus Christmas, has resulted in numerous arguments starting over nothing, and these days we barely speak, but he has nowhere to go to give me any space, as all his friends are in Manchester, and he can't afford to move out. I don't think I want to split up, but I've had enough of his face, but we're effectively trapped together, living in a 1-bedroom flat, as the second bedroom is an office/junk room. I'd rather live with my ex's mother at this point, and I'm pretty sure he's leaving stuff on the floor to either kill me or puss me off. Kevin, help. What should we do? Please keep our names anonymous. Loves you. I nearly said the name then. Betty.
Oof, Betty. Oof, nearly. Yes, so would you like... I had 5 minutes to spare before the show, so I drew a diagram of what I think you should do.
Okay. Before you show that, I think you should give proper advice, Kev. Come on, we're not...
Right. So,
we're not amateurs.
Advice, right. So, what I would say...
You're supposed to advise them and
Frank,
to deal with their problem.
So what's happened here is Frank clearly is not an adequate... Frank clearly is not an adequate lover.
I'm not sure if that's the case, mate. I think it's more that they've, like...
Listen, I'm just presuming he isn't. He's just not fulfilling Betty's needs. And Betty has had enough. Okay?
She's fractious, she's frustrated.
Yes, and this nonsense about not being able... He's not got any mates. Right, so Frank is basically... He's got no friends. He can't leave his own... Right, he can't leave his house. He can get on a train. I'll pay his fare. I'll get him out of there. Find his friend. You can't pay to get on a train to Manchester. This is all sounding a bit iffy to me. What is happened here? Frank, speak to us. We want to hear your side of the story. But what I would say to Betty is, as soon as Frank goes to the shops, you get those locks changed and you leave his stuff outside, and there is your problem solved. If you need any more advice, I'll show you this diagram, which will help. If you're top floor flat, I wouldn't probably advise this, but if you're ground floor, this is for ground floor only, I would say. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so this is... I had 5 minutes to do a little sketch of what I think you should do.
Yeah, just move it a bit closer. That's it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Casey?
Betty is giving Frank the boot at the window with his stuff.
So Frank, you're probably a lovely guy, Frank. I've just caned your love-making ability, and you've basically just been told to just get volleyed out a window. So, sorry about that, Frank. But
I think Frank's got some issues. Look, it sounds like I'll be the voice of reason. It sounds like they had the date. They liked it. They got together. They were in there.
They've had fun.
Yeah, they were
But
in that initial period.
He's got too excited because
Each other.
you had nothing else to do, did you? You had nothing else to do.
They've jumped in,
You've jumped in, yes.
jumped in, and when they got fed up of shagging, they basically
Frank has jumped on.
Yeah, Frank has not got a tempo anymore because he's had too much in lockdown.
And he's not smiling either. He's not smiling at the funeral period.
So he broke the rules because he did. In the whole point of Would You Rather is you pick one or the other, and he didn't pick smiling, and he didn't pick a permanent tempo. So
listen, how many months did you say? How many? 7 months.
So they had their first date in March last year and moved in just before the lockdown, which was around March or something. So like
that's oof.
But that's like, can you imagine going on a first date with someone and then a month later be living with them? Like you don't know anything about people, do you? Like when you first and stuff.
You can't be moving stuff in.
That's brutal. Like if you think back to some of your like worst experiences of like first dates and stuff, and like if you want to share anything, crack on. But like think of that, and then think there was a pandemic. And you kind of just jumped into living together for a year. Like, that is problematic, mate, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? That could have been real bad, real bad.
You wouldn't have. You just wouldn't.
You wouldn't, would you? But they made a mistake, haven't they? And now they're stuck.
Betting Frank, he's had a stinker, right? The safest bet is just, Frank, get your finger out. Go busking or something. Get a few quid. Get on the train. Get your gear. Up the road. Stay in your mate's place with just a suitcase full of clothes. Once the pandemic's over, go back, get your gear. There you go. There you go. It's solved.
Turn up at your mate's house with a bag and a toothbrush.
They say, listen, mate.
She's booed me up.
Betty, you know what Betty's like. She's
Betty and Frank. Frank and Betty. Won't be the same when they're not together. Won't be the same. But so there's your advice. Betty, there's your advice. Whether you take it or not is entirely up to you. I'm not sure how helpful it was. But I will say...
I think it's very helpful.
If you do decide to take Kev's advice and give Frank the boot, Jason David Jones has said, if Betty becomes single, send her my way. So you've already got another... And
tell you what,
we'll be living with Betty by March this year.
And then we'll be talking about again come this time next year.
Next week, saying, I moved in with Betty after the show. Getting on the list now. What can I do? But it's, Rob says Frank isn't giving Betty the D.
Frank's going to get a bit of a rough time, I think. Frankie boy.
James Costley said it's going to be well awkward at the dentist or your nan's or other such places when if you've got a permanent tempo on. But
it's just you just have somebody you've got to deal with. You'll manage it.
Just put a hat on it.
Baggy pants or maybe tight pants. I'm not sure.
Jumper, just something. Gav it, tape it to your leg. I don't know.
There's ways around these things, guys.
Yeah, teenage boys have been hiding them for years, haven't they?
Yeah.
Jesus. Gavin Randall says, great show. Thank you, Gavin. Nice one, mate. We are just talking random stuff. But, that's it. I'll tell you what, then. Who could someone tell me their worst first date experience? Any got any belters? I'm trying to think. When I was in my full-blown drinking phase, like early 20s when I was drinking.
I'm in that phase. I'm in that phase just now, mate.
Yeah, when I was drinking in the mornings and stuff before work.
Those days. Oh, right. Okay, sorry. I thought it was like 7, having a drink at 7 sort of phase.
No, it's like drinking before I go in the shower and stuff like that.
Those days. There you go.
So there was this girl at the pub, and it's ironic because I met my wife at another pub. She was working there about 2 years, 3 years later after this. But yeah, there was this girl who was working in the restaurant of the pub, And I was always pissed up, and I saw her. I was talking to her. I said, "Oh, you go out on a date with me?" I don't know how I managed to string a coherent sentence together to get her to come for a date. And all I really remember about that is that I went on a date. I picked her up from the house. We went for like some food, I think, in like Frankie and Benny's or something.
Big spender.
Yeah, and I think I must have been thinking it was going really, really well. And it probably wasn't, because I was probably annihilated. And I just remember, like, afterwards, we were like stood waiting for a taxi or a lift outside. And I think I went in for the kiss, and she kind of like brushed it off or whatever.
Oh, the old kiss hug. The old when you go, oh,
Yeah, it was exactly.
did you get one of
that.
them? Did you? The old, oh, thank you.
And I think I was so drunk that I just played it off in my mind as like, "No, this is nice," and then just went back to the pub afterwards. Jesus, that's depressing. But it was all
a nice, good hug though, mate. Good hug.
Yeah, everyone loves a good hug, mate.
This is what we're aiming for on first dates. Good hug.
Because if I'd been like Frank, I'd have been living with her a month later.
You actually stood there after the first date with a suitcase, like, right, so they're coming now, or what's the script?
Rob Boyler's just sent in his worst first date stroke. He said it's not necessarily the worst, but it was the most awkward first date experience that he had.
Would you take her for a film? Any chance, Rob?
He took it to Moana.
The girl we sat there going, "Oh no, what have I done?"
He took her to see Moana, and then afterwards he took her for a burger, and he just sat there telling her how and why Moana was the best film created. Moana's the best film ever. The Rock's performance really transcended cinema.
See, Rob, you brought on yourself, Rob. Rob.
Right, anyway, so he says, my worst first date. He said he matched with a lovely black girl on Tinder, and she wanted to see a film. First date, all good, apart from the film she chose was Django Unchained. I haven't seen that.
That's a good film. That's the bad film.
That's a good film to watch.
That's all right. It's just like, I probably wouldn't have went to see it. But
for why that's awkward, someone needs to tell me, because I haven't seen it. But he said that it wasn't the worst date, but he said it was very awkward.
What was I must have, did I mishear the first bit? Was there anything?
He said he matched with a lovely black girl on Twitter.
Oh, right. So it's like a bit, well,
it's about like
it's about slavery and stuff like that. So.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah, that would be awkward, wouldn't it? Like,
yeah,
it's not like anyone's fault or anything. And then
it's like a Tarantino film, though. So it's just kind of.
She picked it as well, so I suppose like.
Well, that's kind of.
How much you can do about that, is there? But
no.
In the same.
I don't think that would have been too awkward, though. I've seen the film, but like, yeah, there's a lot of like slave thingies and.
Yeah, that could be, yeah, especially if it's from Tinder, who you don't like, you never.
I think it would have been worse if he'd picked it. I picked the film.
That would be really bad.
Oh my, yeah, that would have been bad. I think that would have been, if she picked it, then fine. But she was, imagine taking that, just taking the girl to see that. She'd just be like, what?
It's like, like this. Rob said he came out just apologising profusely at the film, just like saying sorry. Jason says he's had so many bad but funny dates. He said, I had one girl ask me if she... Oh, I should have read that before I started reading it. He said, I had one girl ask if she could pee and poo on me a few years ago. It was on a first date.
First date?
Jesus.
That's usually second or third. That's
it. Second date.
Second date, that is. Gee whiz. Come on, settle down. She
was keen. Yeah, I never really got that. I got to be honest. Like most, like sort of.
I'm pretty sure that's what the toilet's for.
Yeah, like I never really got it at all. Like most, like sexual sort of things, I can kind of, even if it's not for me, like I can kind of understand it. Like
Mhm.
I don't get that at all. Like at all. It's a weird one for me. Not that I'm expecting anyone in the live chat to go, "Oh yeah, I like it."
Oh, listen, that's happened to me right now.
Don't knock it. Jesus.
Somebody in the chat right now just saying, "Oh, I've just been getting pissed on right now." There's nothing better than listening to a podcast with getting pissed on.
Yeah, I don't understand it at all. But you know,
Nah, it's not for me.
like I'm not knocking people who want to do their thing as long as it's legal and it's not hurting people.
No.
Yeah, but like, don't get that one at all. But you know, it is what it is, mate. People like what they like, I suppose. Within reason. What else we got? Jason just confirmed that was a first date. Oh my days. Jason, he followed it up and said, I wonder if Betty likes it. Okay. Shout out to Gaz Cubbins, who sent a super chat on the old YouTube, sent in some pennies. It's not some pennies, some pounds. He says, Beano for life. Can't fault you, Gaz. And thank you.
Thanks, guys.
For your wee donation. What else we got? James Costley says maybe Frank doesn't, and that's why she's pissed off with him, because he's not down for the scat.
Just there's still time to change the diagram.
Tell you what, this show is taking
the pencil. Oh, I'm not sure if I can draw this.
Yeah, I think we need to. Right, let's get back on. Get
back on track here.
What's the matter with you people? Sorts of weird stuff coming up tonight.
I'm pretty sure at one stage I was writing the top 10 films.
Yeah, the top 10 British films of all time. So, is there any straight away which have to be on the top 10 list? That's where we start with that little short list.
Trainspotting's got to be on there.
Trainspotting is 100% now, isn't it? Dead Man's Shoe, 100% now. In the top 10, I'm talking now.
Yep.
Dead Man's Shoe, like they're in the top 10. Twin Town.
That's borderline. That is Twin Towns borderline.
All right, so I'll put that in the borderline.
In the border.
And then what else we got? So Craig Sullivan's top 10 British films of all time. He says, I'll put him up there. Trainspotting, The Damned United, Twin Town, Monty Python, The Life of Brian, Zulu, The Commitments, The Kingsman, Legend, Rock and Roller, and a Carry On film. That's a good list, I've got to say.
That's Craig. Well done, mate. That's pretty impressive. Rock and Roll, I'm not sure if Rock and Roll, you need to chuck that in the bin.
I like Rock and Roll, I'm not sure if it's...
There's no top 10 British film, come on.
Who I suppose has got to be up there.
Get out of here.
What about The Life of Brian?
100% that goes in. Oh no, yeah. But then you could have the Holy Grail, I would say Holy Grail as well. And there was no James Bond in there.
Yeah, it's got to be. Which James Bond is your favourite, though, mate?
Well, there's only a couple of British ones apparently, because the other ones have been done by. I googled this. I had to Google to see what the if they were British, because I wasn't sure if the James Bonds were British.
Tell you what, mate. Right, when I tell you these suggestions from Rob Boyle for the best British films of all time.
Come on, then. I want to hear these.
Stream. I don't even think I can read them. I feel physically sick.
Put them up. Can you put them up on the screen?
Yeah, of course I can.
And just keep them there for the rest of the show.
I feel physically sick. Well, yeah, it's got to be one.
It's a top 10 ever. Rob, is this like? What age is Rob? Is Rob about 5? Is Rob? I just think Rob Boyle sounds like an old name. Is it just a young? Is it a wee 6-year-old?
Like a kid, like on his lap, listening to his hero Kevin McNaughton Show.
Mary Poppins.
Did you say Zulu? You want Zulu on the list? Top 10.
Zulu's good, mate. I think
it's top 10.
That's another borderline there for me.
Okay, I'll put it on the
This
board.
is England. This is England's a good film, no?
Yeah, and the series as well is very good also.
Mary Poppins.
Isn't Braveheart an American film though?
It's an American film, that is.
I know it's about Scotland, but it's actually made like
It's American, isn't it?
So I'm still waiting.
You guess like you could
Which James Bond qualify?
Well, Goldfinger and Doctor No. I watched Doctor No. It was on the telly the other day. It's not bad. I think Doctor No is the one.
Who's the
I think it's Chinese guy with metal hands. I think or something like that. I can't remember.
Okay. I like. What did you say? Goldeneye.
Goldfinger.
Oh,
That's another old day. They're two old ones. I think Goldfinger's good because that's the. Is that Odd Job? Odd Job's in that, isn't it?
Yeah, Goldfinger. I'll have that. Well, that could be the James Bond.
Is it Odd Job? Somebody will correct this. I don't know if it's Odd Job or it's Jaws. Goldfinger.
Yeah, because Odd Job, and then in Austin Powers, the parody of that is Random Task, isn't he? Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
I
love gold, Mr. Powers.
Jason Jones says Braveheart number 1, 100%. But Braveheart.
No, it's not. It's a British film.
It's American. Oh, Rob, come on now. You just being funny now, yeah. Bridget Jones. Going on. James Carter said Shaun of the Dead. I like Shaun of the Dead.
It's not bad.
Not sure if it's in the. There's other classics in there.
There's Lawrence of Arabia.
The Kingsman, like that's good.
Lawrence of Arabia is one of the best films ever made.
What about The Commitments? Would you have that in there? I'm not sure I would see.
Right, Oliver Twist.
Yeah, Gandhi.
Is Gandhi English? You know? No, I think it is. I think it is, mate. I think it is.
What about
it's no British, sorry.
Nail and I.
With Nail and I's quite funny. It's a bit out there though.
What else we got?
Wait, Oliver Twist. Oliver Twist surely in there. Or close to being in there. That's a classic.
I'll give you it on the
Fish Called Wanda.
That's pretty great. That's not British, is it?
Yes, has to be, surely.
Okay.
That's a British film, huh? Maybe not. Don't know.
No. What about Lock, Stock?
Kes.
Classic. Would you put Lock, Stock in your top 10?
Nah.
Snatch. So what were the Guy Ritchie films? Lock, Stock.
I don't mind Snatch. I think Snatch is good.
Snatch is good. It's difficult, isn't it?
Get Carter. That was a good film. Was that the boy with Michael Caine in it? Get Carter.
Sylvester Stallone, isn't it?
No, it's not Get Carter. What's it called? Carter something. Is it Get Carter? There is, yeah. It's this. You're thinking of it must be a remake. Originals.
Original Get Carter, yeah.
Go and try. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it was Michael Caine in it.
Good, yeah. That's right. You are right. Good shout from Reese there. Italian Job. That's a good one. I like that. I like the remake of that as well. I got to say, they were both for the.
Is that British?
Yeah. Italian Job. It's got to be. Come on, we got some more.
The Bridge on the River Kwai.
The Freddie Mercury.
Too Far. A Bridge Too Far. Is that a British film? What a film that is.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Have you not seen A Bridge Too Far? I love war films. I love loads of war films. What a film.
Would you have that in there?
See, that was all like bells and whistles. I don't think that had a great storyline. It was.
Craig Sullivan says Chariot.
This is hard, isn't it?
It is. This is really Chariots of Fire.
That could be a great show.
Yeah. Mean Machine.
That could be a shit show. That could be a real shit show.
No, I want that one.
Yeah, that's straight in the bin.
Full Monty.
Good shout.
From Russia with Love.
I'm not sure about that. Is that Timothy Dalton?
Yeah,
that's straight in the fucking bin. That is the straight in the bins. From Russia to the bin.
Full Monty is, whilst I think it's a classic sort of
it's
old British film, I'm not sure it's like in top 10 British films of all time. Like when I line that up against like Train, Dead Man.
We've got to have right. So what have we got? We've got the right. Dead Man Shoe's good. We've got.
Do you want me to go on? Do you want me to read out this list?
Is Goldfinger in there? We've got Goldfinger.
Dead Man
Monty
Shoe.
Python. What have we run for? Have we done the both Monty Pythons?
No, just Life of Brian.
Okay.
Get Carter, the original Italian Job, Chariots of Fire, and the Full Monty. And then on the cusp of it, we've got Oliver Twist, Zulu, and Twin Town.
Surely Lawrence of Arabia, one of the greatest films ever made.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
Well, I'm just... Is anybody backing me up in the chat here? Come on. I think I just... Oh, don't... Anybody bad Rob, back me up here. If Rob comes out and says, I love that film, it's a cracker, then it just puts... I will actually just bin it. I love Lawrence Arabia.
Gavin Rand is just saying ranting. So these are his last couple of posts. Back to the Future, Fast and Furious, Jackie Chan films. I don't think he's getting the grasp of the concept.
What is it? He just trying to find really shit films.
Well, I just don't know.
Well, they're not. There's a couple. Named a couple of no bad films there, but just his favourite. He's just thinking his favourite, isn't he?
Yeah, they're not British films.
And they weren't even really good ones either. So he's really got a real bad taste in films as well.
Craig says, thumbs up from me for Lawrence of Arabia. Jason says, I'll back you up, Kev, for a print. Cheeky.
See, bribery doesn't work here, mate.
Gandhi, are we having that?
I didn't think it's a British film, but you had put it in if it was, but
I think it is 100% a British film. Okay, I'm going to give you there's Clockwork Orange.
I hate that film, but you want to put that in? I know people like it. I hate it. I hate that film.
What else we got? Don't Look Now. That was made in the 70s. That was a pretty good film with Donald Sutherland in. Not sure it's up there as the. It is a very, very good film.
Can't think any other names. I think there's not really any more that I liked. Four Weddings and a Funeral.
So ignore that.
4 Weddings and a Funeral's like.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not making top 10 now, is it?
It's really hard.
I like that film though.
Gavin's still listing off American films.
How many have you got then? How many's in the list? We can't even get 10.
List. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Mary Poppins?
Oh, God. It's Austin Powers, Rob Boyle says. What about The Wicker Man?
That's no bad shout. I didn't really like that film, but it's a bit of a classic, isn't it?
In Bruges, featuring...
Oh, that's not British either. That's not British. I don't think it's British made.
Checked. Just checked.
Is it?
It is, yeah. It's got a 7.9 mark on the IMDb.
That's fantastic. But I don't know.
Well, Goldfinger has got an 87 Metascore and a 7.7 on the IMDb, so that's definitely got to go in a minute. 28
I just like the film. I like it.
28 days later, I think that's going to go in.
Yeah, that's a wild card, isn't it? We wild card in there.
28 days later, mate. With that, I think it was ahead of its time with the zombie.
Mate, it wasn't the high budget, and it was very, very good film. I enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Zombie films. After
very. Yes, there was a lot based on that, mate.
Yeah, and then afterwards they changed the game. Reese says 4 Lions. That is very, very good film.
I've seen it.
See, he also says Bronson, and I'm going to have that. I think I'd have Bronson in there. Tom Hardy playing Bronson is so good.
I've seen it, mate.
That moves it to the top 10 for me. Real quality performance. Craig Sullivan says Alien is showing up as a British-made film, which that adds to a bit of because if that is a British film, that is like.
Well, what is the one? There's a film as well. Space Odyssey has been made in Britain as well. It was made in Britain, but not by British producers and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
So there's another one that could be put in there, but I don't know. I don't know the rules. We should really be in a wee bit.
Yeah, maybe. The Bridge on the River Kwai, is that the one that you said?
That's a great film. What a film that is. War film.
Massive scores on all like the.
It's a great film.
Gavin says Dead Man's Shoes, but Gavin's not listening.
You need to listen. You need to watch that next couple of days. The Bridge on the River Kwai, and then you need to watch A Bridge Too Far. Bridge Too Far.
I will watch both, but I'm going to watch Dead Man's Shoes again first because I saw a clip of Dead Man's Shoes.
I know, how good is it?
And that was actually what gave me the idea of top 10 British films.
No, get that. Screenshotted. That.
Yeah.
In there.
Yeah, it's a classic. Right, we have got 10 now. So I'm going to...
Fantastic news.
This is the 10 we've got, mate, as we've hit the 1.5 hour mark. So Life of Brian, Trainspotting, Dead Man's Shoes, Goldfinger, Get Carter, The Italian Job, Chariots of Fire, The Full Monty, Lawrence of Arabia, 28 Days Later, and Bronson. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 films. One's got to go. I think it's got to be Full Monty, mate.
You decide, mate, because I usually overrule you, and I'm going to let you have. You're the Louis Walsh to the old Simon here, so I'm going to say.
I've taken
Louis. I'm going to let you pick this one.
The Full Monty. In your opinion, what is the best British film ever made out of these 10? Life of Brian, Trainspotting, Dead Man's Shoes, Goldfinger, Get Carter, The Original Italian Job, Chariots of Fire, Lawrence of Arabia, 28 Days Later, and Bronson. What's the best film there?
See, my favourite film like that's Trainspotting.
Yeah, I've got to agree. Dead Man's Shoes runs it close.
I know, that's close. That is close.
Yeah, I agree. Trainspotting is the greatest British film of all time.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's superb. So I'm going to post Si and Kev's top 10 British films of all time in the comments. Guys, you can post your top 10, and it is yours. So it doesn't have to be. Don't have to agree with ours. As you know, Rob Boyle's got Mary Poppins as number 1, which is if that's what he wants. That's what he wants. Okay, Kev.
Yes.
Competition time, my friend.
Yep. It's really, really tough one.
What's the question? So everyone get ready.
I've got a ball just sitting here, right? It's one of my kids has made this jigsaw puzzle that's a ball, and it's of an animated film. And I think it's Pixar. I'm not 100% sure if it's Pixar, to be honest with you. I can't even check, but you've got to just name the series of it. So there's been a few of these films made, animation, very popular, not recently, probably the last 5-10 years. So it's very vague, this question, but what is the animated film? I'll give you a clue.
Restate Finding Nemo.
Nope.
Rob Boyle says Toy Story.
Nope.
I haven't even finished the question and they're guessing. I think that's cheating.
It is cheating a wee bit, but I'm going to... the main character is a villain. That's got to be big. Somebody's going to get it.
Someone's going to get it, are they? Do you reckon? Are they? Do you think someone will get it?
The main character is a villain.
The main character is a villain. Wow. So, switch over to the comments. Reese David Evans, trying to win the print for the second week in a row, says Monsters, Inc.
Nope.
James Costley says Megamind.
Nope.
James Costley also says Despicable Me. Dun.
Yes, correct.
Congratulations to James Costley who wins Kevin McNaughton's doodles signed from tonight, which
Yes.
Kevin showed.
I've actually got to draw James now. So, James, how do you
How do you look?
just a brief description of how you look, and then I'll just draw you.
Just pose. So you win, James. You win Kev's doodles from tonight, signed, as well as I think Kev said he's going to send.
Yeah, I'll send a wee print. The artwork I've done over the years, I've sent a wee print for you.
Footy one, what a guy, guys. That's pretty much it for today. What I would like to say, just to finish, is first of all, thank you to everyone who's jumped in and having a chat. We love it. It's I know it's not like any other podcast. We just like to have a nice, relaxed chat, random stuff. Just go where we go, have a bit of fun with it, because everyone's having a bit of a tough time at the moment. So let's just try and take our minds off it. We appreciate you. We appreciate you getting involved. Spread the word about the channel, the shows, the various things. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, because that helps us the most at the moment. Massive thank you to people who send super chats as well and stuff. All that money goes back into the channel and creating content and shows and stuff. And of course, as ever, a massive thank you to my co-host, Mr. Super Kev McNaughton. Thank you for your time, my friend.
Don't worry, mate. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, it's always a good crack, mate. Good crack. When are you gracing us with your presence now?
Well, next week, mate. Hopefully, next Tuesday, maybe. Next Tuesday or Thursday. Thursday probably better, actually. Thursday good. Thursday good for you?
Yeah, you're right. Thursday. So next Thursday we're penciling in, mates, for the next show. Keep an eye on our social media, because that is where we'll post to confirm it. And most of all, to all, not just Cardiff fans, football fans, I would love it if you can get as many people as possible to put messages on that post that's pinned to the top of the Ace Podcast Nation Facebook page for Sol Bamba. Just send messages of support to him and his family. We want to get as many as possible so I can pass it on directly to the club next week, because I'm sure he's going to need a lift at the moment. He's going to be going through all sorts of emotions. And I think it's a good way an easy way, how we can just let him know that he's in our thoughts, etc. And as ever, guys, if you are struggling, reach out. We've got a great community around these shows and all the different series. Just if you drop a message in the Ace Podcast Nation thing, one of the posts, people will reply. Always checking in on each other. But,
does this look like James, do you think?
Yeah, spot on, mate.
That's James, isn't it?
More like James than James looks like James.
That does, isn't it?
I've never seen anything look more like James Costley.
Yeah.
James, you need to DM me your address and stuff for Kev to send them all out and stuff.
And it's Reese, is it? Reese, who I'm due. They'll send that this week. That'll get sent out this week.
Details already. And yeah, guys, thank you for joining us. We'll be back. If you like boxing and MMA, got a new show dropping tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Myself, Batten, former Cage Warriors World Champion. And Friday, Championship Show. Sunday, Conspiracy Theory Show. Monday, Andy Campbell Show with an all-new guest. Next Thursday, me and my co-host Kev will be back to talk more random crap. And another top 10 list. If you have any problems that you would like us to help you resolve, particularly Kev, then send them to one of the various social media pages. If you want them to be anonymous, you can email addresses on all those pages. If you do it on the social media, just use the hashtag AskKev. You can also send us all your would you rathers and stuff like that. If you'd like to send them ahead of time or any questions, whatever it may be, if there's something you want us to talk about. And also, the last thing I will say is currently tying down sponsors for various shows and series for the next year for the channel. At the moment, there's still a couple of slots open. If you know people who might be interested in sponsoring this show or some of the other shows, whether it's a local, I'd rather partner up with local businesses like Bespoke Financial than just get the easy podcast sponsorships from Blue Chew and all these types of people, which I can get fairly easily. I'd rather partner up with local businesses and stuff like that. So if you do know someone who you think would be interested in the various shows and sponsorship, then tell them to drop us an email and we can have a chat. But James Costley says, I enjoy pissing on people on first dates. That, my friend,
That's a wrap.
Taking on Miss Messi, our assistant.